Good morning. It is Thursday, April or May, whatever time it is, May something or other, 14th, 15th. We already have our first order. It is Acme shopping for 32 items, going 11 miles for $30. So let's go head over there now. We're starting off as soon as we leave the driveway. The items don't look too bad, so it's currently 7:30 in the morning. So yeah, yesterday we got our oil changed. Husband, thank you, love you. But yeah, we're back at it. Our AR is at 76, but it's Thursday, so we have shopping orders on despite the rain. This order is going to Warwick, Maryland, so yeah, hopefully it's not muddy roads. We did lose our per shopper because I only got 98 instead of 99, but let's get this party started. Alright, that's all shopped for. 27 minutes, 12.5 miles, which is wrong, so it'll be about 11 minutes. Let's go drop it off. I delivered to her before I remember the thing for horses. Right, that's all dropped off. Nice lady. She came and got it out of my car. Horsey, I got you carrots. Anyway, it's 1 to 2 on DoorDash, but we are about 15 minutes outside the zone. So it took me an hour. So $29.75 for 1 hour's worth of work. I'll take it. Just take your good old sweet time like everything else in Maryland. Didn't want to run over no squirrel. We got our next door. We're not even in Delaware yet. It's $15.50 for 12 miles. Picking up that player bowl. It's picking up 1 bowl. Let's go. We're just getting in Delaware now. Alright, that's all picked up. It says leave on the steps by the side door next to the garage. Okay. 20 minutes, 10 miles to the drop off. We got to follow the poop truck all the way down to the other side of town. Yay. Alright, that's all dropped off. $10 tip. 2 to 9 on DoorDash. Absolutely not. $2.75 to shop for 1 item going 3 miles. No, thank you. Down to 75. Alright, Uber, it's your time to shine. It's for the 14-minute wait on this estimate wait time for DoorDash. Alright, Uber, you had your chance. We just took an 1825 Napa order going 14 miles. Let's head to Napa now. Alright, we're here. It looks like we're picking up a fuel pump going to Bear. Yep, that's all picked up. Pretty late. 20 minutes, 13.4 miles to the drop off. Let's go to Bear. Alright, that's all dropped off. 2 to 9. We're going to see if we can get something on Uber to take us back. We got our next door, 925. Picking up 7 items at Walgreens. Let's go do it. This is a top customer. Deliver with care. I treat them all the same. Nobody gets special treatment unless you're going to tip me like 25 bucks. Alright, let's go shopping. Alright, that's all shopped for 3 minutes, 0.6 miles to the drop off. Let's go drop this off. Alright, that's all dropped off for the 14-minute estimate wait time. Looks like we're heading to Giant next. $10 for 5 items going 2 miles. Let's head over to Giant. All we're picking up is a pound of kiwi and 4 sparkling blush bottles. Alright, that's all shopped for. Took longer to connect to the Wi-Fi than it did shopping. 3 minutes, 0.86 miles to the drop-off. Alright, that's all dropped off to the 8 on DoorDash. I don't know why Uber is showing like all these hot spots, but they are not sending me a single order. I have it on and everything. Alright, we got our next order, $5.50, going a half a mile, picking up at Surf Bagel. It's only 1 item, but we're right across the street now. Let's go see if it's ready. Alright, that was a couple minute wait. 2 minutes, half a mile to hand it to me. Alright, that's all dropped off. They tried sending me a $6.25 for 7 miles. I declined that. So my AR is down to 77. 1 to 5. We got our next order.
From someone with a 201 area code. New order, go to Surf Bagel.
No, I'm not doing that. Alright, we got our next order. Chick-fil-A, 7 for 3 on Uber finally.
In 1.1 mile, turn left on Middletown Road.
Alright, that's all picked up. 9 minutes, 1.9 miles to drop off. Let's go drop this off. Alright, that's all dropped off. 3 to 12 on DoorDash. Looks like we're headed to Panera next. Alright, let's go see if it's ready. Alright, that's all picked up. 14 minutes, 7.6 miles to the drop off. It was ready right after I got there. Let's head to Bayberry. Let's go drop this off. Alright, that was the $7 tip. 1 to 5. Alright, we got our next order. 11:01. Picking up 1 item at Acme. A dozen roses. Hopefully they have them. Let's go find out. Alright, let's go see if they have roses. Alright, we got the roses. 8 minutes, 3.7 miles to the drop off. Let's go drop these off. Pin required. Yay. Alright, that's dropped off. Alright, we got our next order. Pathori. Parking should be interesting. Hopefully there's parking available. Let's go get it. Alright, so this is my first time picking up here. It says come to the back door and ring the doorbell. It sounds easy enough. Getting in and out of their back parking lot's going to be fun. Alright, that was easy enough. 3 minutes, 1.25 miles to the drop off. Getting out of here won't be. Alright, it's all dropped off. Alright, we got our next order, Young's Barbecue. 11:50 going 6.5 miles. Let's go. Alright, this is 10 items, so it might not be ready yet. Let's go see. Alright, that's all picked up. It was a couple minute wait. 10 minutes, 4.9 miles to the drop off. I know where it's going. That's all dropped off. 1 to 3. Alright, we got our next order, $8.50 for 4.4 miles. Picking up at Wawa. Let's go. Alright, that's all picked up. 8 minutes, 3 miles. Alright, let's go drop this off. Alright, that's all dropped off. 1 to 3. Alright, we have our next order, 8 for 3. Picking up at Applebee's. Let's go. Alright, let's go see if it's ready. Doesn't look crowded. Alright, that's picked up. 4 minutes, 1 mile. That's all dropped off. We got our next order. I'm not too fond of it. It's $15.75 going 6 or 7 miles, something like that. It's got a Townsend. It's picking up 22 items at me. I don't know. Let's go do it. There's no doubles. It's 22 individual items. So hopefully I can get this done quick. Alright, that took entirely too long because they kept on saying, oh, I'm not open, I'm not open, I'm not open. Oh, we don't have anyone at customer service. So I had to hunt someone down to finally open the place. Open the register. Anyway, 10 minutes, 5.5 miles. Let's go drop these off. Dropped off. Alright, so we're 7 hours in and we're at a $23 an hour pace. Not bad. I thought it was less. Alright, we got our next order going to Odessa High. It's Philly Pretzel Factory. Picking up 7 items, $12.25 for 6 miles. This is going to Old State Elementary School, but let's go pick it up. Alright, that was about a 10-minute wait. They had to make more. Now I have to wait for these people to let me through so I can go. But it's 13 minutes, 5.8 miles to the next drop-off. Finally. I got so far. I gotta turn around. We're smoking that good stuff today. $9 for 26 miles, 3 stops. No, thank you. Alright, that's all dropped off. Let me see if I can get out of here. Alright. She tipped a $10 tip. Not bad. 1 to 3. Looks like we're headed back to Acme for 2 items, $13, 4 miles. All we're getting is a 12-pack of Coke and a 16 count of Pediasure. Alright, let's go get these. Alright, easy peasy lemon squeezy, 12 minutes, 4 miles. Alright, that's all dropped off. We have our next order, Jersey Mike's, $7 for 3-point-something miles. Let's go. Let's go see if this is right. That's all picked up. 3 minutes, 0.66 miles to the drop off. Alright, that's all dropped off. We have our next order. Chick-fil-A. Let's head over there now. Let's go pick this up. Alright, that's all picked up. Let's go head over to YMCA. She was waiting for me outside. That's all dropped off. We have our next order, 8 for 4, 6, something like that. Pizza di Napoli. Let's head over there. That was about a 5-minute wait. 5, 6, something like that. Anyway, it's all picked up. 6 minutes, 3 miles to the drop off. Alright, that's all dropped off. 207 on DoorDash. No, I don't want a 509 for 6 miles. Alright, just turned down 2 upside down orders. I'll take this one though. $17.25 for 14.5 miles. Picking up at Chili's and McDonald's. Let's go. Let's go see if this is right. That's all picked up. Let's head to McDonald's. That's all picked up. 17 minutes, 6.6 miles to the drop off. For drop off 1. Let's get drop this off. That's all dropped off. Next one is 10 minutes, 4.2 miles to the drop off. She was nice. Let's go drop this off. Alright, that's all dropped off. Of course I have no service. I figured that last one was a no tip. 1 to 4 on DoorDash. We got our next order at $13.25, going 12 miles. Head back to Warwick. So, yeah. It's for barbecue pizza, cheese pizza, 2 pizzas, and breadsticks. It's head over to Papa John's. Hopefully they're ready. Let's go see if this is ready. Alright, that's all picked up. Of course it's going to start raining. 23 minutes, 10 miles to the drop off. Alright, let's go drop this off. Alright, that's all dropped off. Oh, 1 to 4 on DoorDash. They have goats in their backyard. A cute setup back here. Not worth the $5 tip, but at least they tipped. Alright, it looks like we're going to Dairy Queen next. Let's head over there now. Alright, that's all picked up. 9 minutes, 3.1 miles to the drop off. Hots with hot, colds with cold. Really just say $8 for 20 miles. No. Alright, let's go drop this off. That's all dropped off. Alright, I just declined these 2 orders. One because I can't stand, make that 3 orders. One because I can't stand Haagen-Dazs where it is. It's a pain in the ass. And this one, the other one was backwards, and this one's definitely backwards. 5.4, $22, 2 shops, 16 items. Where are they going? Alright. Yeah, we're going to do this one. Let's go shop for 16 items. Off to Food Lion. Both have 8 items each. Alright. One of them does have 2 cases of water, but that's going to a 3rd floor, but they have an elevator, so that's fine. And I got a cart. Let's go shopping. We'll need a big cart. Alright, they're both shopped for. Thank God I have a wagon. All I gotta say, best investment I ever made. Anyway, 6 minutes, 1.9 miles to the drop off for the first one. Let's go drop this off. That was super easy. It was actually the 1st floor. 10 minutes, 5 miles to the 2nd one. Alright, they're both dropped off. I'll post what I made. We have our next order, 11:33. It says 7 miles, but that's just getting to tomfooleries. It said over there. We are 6.3 miles away, so this will probably be my last one. This order for McDonald's that came up, it was a good order, but it's at Virginia Beach, Virginia. No thank you. I ain't chancing it. Alright, they're both picked up. 4 minutes, 1.2 miles to the drop off. Alright, that's all dropped off. We have our next order. Barbecues. This one's going to be our last one. Alright, that's all picked up. 14 minutes, 4 miles. And then it puts me right at the gas station that I want to be at. Let's go drop it off. Alright, let's go drop this off. on. Off to the gas station. So I'm done for the day. We were 12 and a half hours. I'll post the numbers on what we made because I'm still waiting on tips. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will be back